Thank you for choosing Wisdom of the Dharma. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss a new update. Your support helps us keep sharing powerful, life-changing wisdom with the world. And don't forget to drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's grow and learn together. Part 1. The Hidden Visitors Bringing Riches. Have you ever paused mid-step as a tiny insect fluttered into your living room and thought, what if this isn't just a bug, but a message? Most of us are quick to grab a newspaper or swat anything with wings. But what if we've been reacting to blessings as if they were pests? What if the universe has been sending silent messengers to your doorstep, and all it needed was your stillness to understand? In ancient spiritual traditions, especially within Buddhist teachings and Feng Shui, nothing that enters your space is truly random. The appearance of certain insects, especially in calm indoor spaces like your altar corner, kitchen, or bedroom, is often seen as a signal. Not a coincidence. Not a mistake. A message. I once met a woman in Santa Fe who told me a story I've never forgotten. She had been struggling, emotionally drained, finances tight, and unsure whether to close her small bookstore after 15 years. Then one quiet morning, as she lit incense at her home altar, a single honeybee hovered at her window and eventually landed on the edge of her teacup. She said something about the moment felt sacred. She didn't know why, but she chose to keep the shop open another month. That very week, a travel blogger randomly featured her store in a viral post. Tourists poured in. A local school district placed a bulk book order. The bee didn't bring customers. But it arrived before the tide turned, as if to whisper, hold on. Help is already on its way. Today, I invite you to see the unseen. Because the world around you is speaking in symbols, and some of the most profound spiritual signals come in the form of humble little insects. In this video, we'll uncover 5 unexpected insects that may appear inside your home not to annoy you, but to bless you. These aren't superstitions. These are patterns witnessed by generations. And once you learn how to read them, you'll never see a dragonfly, butterfly, or bee the same way again. Let's begin by looking at the most gentle of all good luck carriers, the ladybug. But first, take a breath and ask yourself, am I open to receiving the messages around me? Part 2. Ladybugs, Silent Blessings Wrapped in Red. What if the help you've been praying for has already arrived, quietly, without warning, hidden in something as simple as a ladybug? While we often search for signs in big events or loud breakthroughs, many spiritual traditions remind us that true guidance doesn't always come with fanfare. Sometimes, it arrives in silence. In Buddhist philosophy and Feng Shui, the ladybug is one such silent messenger, gentle, unassuming, yet full of meaning. In Feng Shui, ladybugs are associated with fire and wood energy, elements linked to personal growth, warmth, and transformation over time. Their rounded shape symbolizes completion, while their red, orange, and golden hues echo abundance, happiness, and prosperity. But their presence means more than material gain. A ladybug brings a shift in energy, a subtle confirmation that something is beginning to align in your favor. From a Buddhist perspective, the ladybug reflects the energy of a Kalyana Mitta, a noble spiritual friend. This isn't necessarily a person. It can be a moment, a sign, or even an insect that appears at the right time to nudge you forward, gently and without pressure. Let me share a story. James, a third-year medical student in Seattle, was burned out. With licensing exams approaching, he was doubting his path and drowning in pressure. One night, while studying late, a red ladybug, strangely out of season, landed softly on his notepad. It just stayed there, he told me. No buzzing, no movement. Like it was just watching. That moment, though small, broke through his exhaustion. He stopped, breathed, recentered. He went on to pass his exams with honors and was later offered a research fellowship from a program he hadn't even applied to. The ladybug didn't bring the opportunity, but it came before the shift. Like a quiet signal, hold on. You're closer than you think. If you ever notice a ladybug, especially during moments of uncertainty, don't ignore it. Ask yourself, what part of me needs reassurance right now? The ladybug's energy isn't about dramatic change. It's about gentle confirmation that you're not alone, and something is quietly working in your favor. Pay attention to where it lands. In many traditions, if it touches your heart, palm, or shoulder, it's seen as a direct connection to your energy centers. If it enters your home, especially near an altar, desk, or bed, it's a sign that space is becoming receptive to blessings. In that moment, don't shoo it away. Close your eyes. Offer a breath of gratitude. Let your energy match the gentleness of the visit. Ladybugs remind us that not all blessings are loud. Some arrive quietly, when we're tired, when we're lost, or when we're just about to give up. And more often than not, they don't signal what's coming. They affirm what's already unfolding. So the next time a ladybug appears, on your desk, your windowsill, or your skin, don't call it coincidence. Welcome it like you would a sacred guest. With reverence. With presence. With trust. Because sometimes, what you think is just a bug, is actually a blessing with wings. Part 3, Dragonflies, Winds of Change and Spiritual Awakening. Have you ever stood still as a dragonfly hovered near your window, its wings catching the light like stained glass? There's something about that moment, a feeling that the air itself is holding its breath. That something is about to shift. In both Buddhist philosophy and Feng Shui, dragonflies are more than insects. They are living symbols of impermanence, movement, and spiritual transition. In Buddhism, anicca, the truth of impermanence, is not something to fear, but to embrace. Like the dragonfly, we are meant to pass through phases lightly, letting go of what no longer serves us with grace. In Feng Shui, dragonflies are messengers of yang energy, the force of light, action, and opportunity. They tend to appear during moments of uncertainty or emotional crossroads, often near windows, doorways, or sacred spaces. Their presence is a signal, you're ready to receive something new. Each dragonfly carries meaning through its color. Yellow dragonflies represent abundance, often showing up when a financial or career shift is close. In Buddhism, this connects to dana, the virtue of giving. If you've been generous in spirit or resources, this may be your karmic return. Red dragonflies speak to the heart, love, connection, and emotional healing. Their arrival can mark a time of deeper intimacy, or the need to reconcile with someone important. Blue dragonflies are rare and powerful, representing intuition, creativity, and self-expression. Blue, the color of the throat chakra, encourages you to speak your truth and share what you've long kept inside. I once knew a graphic designer named Clarice, who had given up on her art. For 3 days straight, a blue dragonfly visited the dusty corner of her desk where her sketchpad sat untouched. On the third day, it landed directly on the pad. Clarice took it as a sign, reopened her online portfolio, and within weeks received an unexpected job offer from overseas. She told me later, "The dragonfly didn't give me the job, it reminded me that I'm still an artist." Dragonflies also carry a deeper teaching in how we handle change. If one enters your home, don't panic. Don't swat. Let it move freely. And when it's time to leave, guide it gently toward the light. This practice mirrors spiritual presence. Receive without grasping, release without fear. Because dragonflies don't visit stagnant energy. They are drawn to places, and people, on the brink of transformation. Their wings beat with a rhythm that calls in growth, flow, and forward motion. So if one comes to you, take a breath. Say, thank you. You don't need to act quickly or change everything overnight. The dragonfly isn't pushing, it's inviting. And as we continue this journey, we move from movement to stillness, from winds of change to whispers of the spirit. Let's meet the next sacred messenger, the white butterfly. Part 4, White Butterflies, Whispers from the Other Side. Have you ever felt the quiet sense that someone is with you, not physically, but spiritually? Not in the room, but just beyond the veil? Picture this. You're standing in your garden just after dawn. The world is still. Your thoughts are heavy. Then, from across the yard, a white butterfly glides toward you, soft, calm, and deliberate. It circles once, twice, then lands on your shoulder. You feel something shift, not fear, but comfort. A gentle whisper from beyond, you are not alone. In Buddhist and spiritual traditions, white butterflies are symbols of rebirth, spiritual purity, and unseen presence. Some see them as souls visiting briefly, a loved one who has passed, or a benevolent force reminding you that you're being watched over. They do not announce themselves loudly. They come when the heart is quiet. Unlike dragonflies, which bring energy and momentum, white butterflies show up during moments of stillness, when you're grieving, making a life decision, or releasing something that no longer fits your life. Spiritually, they often appear during liminal spaces, those fragile transitions when the old you is dissolving, and the new you hasn't yet arrived. Their presence is not random, it's a sacred witnessing. Let me tell you about Marissa, a woman I once guided through grief meditation. Her father died when she was 13. 2 decades later, on her wedding day, that old ache resurfaced. As she stood beneath the floral arch, just before the ceremony began, a white butterfly floated down and gently danced around her veil. It stayed through the first reading, weaving through her bouquet and hair. Her mother, watching through tears, whispered, "He's here." Later, Marissa told me, "It didn't feel like a coincidence. It felt like my father had shown up, not as a memory, but as presence." Experiences like this are more common than we think. People around the world report seeing white butterflies just before meaningful events, a birth, a reconciliation, a spiritual breakthrough. The butterfly doesn't create the event. It affirms that you're on the edge of something sacred. So what should you do when one visits? First, do nothing. Don't reach for your phone. Don't try to capture it. Just breathe. Let yourself receive the moment. Second, if you feel moved, light a stick of incense or whisper a prayer. A simple, "thank you" or "I'm listening" deepens the spiritual exchange. Third, write. Reflect. Ask, "What was I thinking or feeling before it came?" Often, the butterfly shows up as a gentle echo to something your soul already knows. White butterflies teach us to honor the silence within. They don't enter chaos. They come to spaces of peace, where the boundary between this world and the next is soft enough for love to pass through. Their wings carry more than beauty, they carry memory and possibility. One wing holds what was. The other, what can still be. So the next time a white butterfly drifts through your yard or brushes against your altar space, pause. Something holy is unfolding. You may not fully understand it, but your spirit will recognize it. And now, as we move from the quiet presence of the butterfly to the bold energy of the grasshopper, remember this. Not all signs are loud. Some arrive in stillness. And remind you that love never truly leaves. Part 5, Green Grasshoppers, the leap you didn't know you were ready for. What if your biggest breakthrough came just after you were ready to quit? Life has a curious way of testing us, pushing us to the edge, then sending a sign not in thunder but in stillness. Sometimes that sign appears in the form of a green grasshopper, small and unassuming, yet deeply symbolic in Feng Shui and spiritual traditions. Unlike butterflies that float or dragonflies that glide, grasshoppers leap, boldly, without hesitation. Spiritually, this symbolizes sudden progress after stagnation. In Feng Shui, the grasshopper is connected to the wood element, representing spring, growth, and upward energy. Its green color amplifies the message: you are entering a new phase. Not just change, but a sharp upward turn in your life path, often when you feel least prepared. I once heard a story about Louis, a hardware store owner in New Jersey. After months of slow sales and 2 failed loan applications, he was ready to close up shop. One night, overwhelmed by defeat, he was reviewing his numbers when a green grasshopper suddenly landed, right on his calculator. Something about it made him pause. Instead of dismissing the moment, he picked up the phone and called an old friend he hadn't spoken to in years. That friend, as it turned out, had just inherited money and was looking for a grounded investment. A month later, they were business partners. Today, the shop is thriving, and Louis keeps a jade grasshopper by the register as a reminder of the day everything changed. The insect didn't cause the breakthrough, but it marked the turning point. The shift came because Louis was open and willing to act. In Buddhist teaching, this speaks to a deeper truth. When the heart is no longer desperate but still awake, that's when transformation begins. You don't need to chase success. You need to notice when opportunity appears, especially when it shows up small and green. So what should you do if a grasshopper visits your home? First, stay calm. They aren't harmful, they're messengers. Pay attention to where it lands. If it rests near your desk, cash box, entrance, or even your bedroom window, take it as a sign. This is where energy wants to move. You can place a small bowl of sea salt or write down a simple affirmation, something like, "I trust the leap I'm being prepared for." Leave it for a few days as a way to acknowledge the moment. It's not superstition, it's spiritual awareness. Because sometimes, it's not about being fully ready. It's about being willing to move even before you're certain. Grasshoppers don't plan. They jump. They don't wait for conditions to be perfect, they act when the tension within them reaches the point of no return. If one appears to you in a moment of fear, fatigue, or indecision, pause and ask, what leap am I resisting? And what if you're more ready than you think? Carry that courage forward. Because the next creature we meet is not about movement, it's about building. Quietly, patiently, and with purpose. Let's talk about the bee. Part 6. Bees, builders of wealth, messengers of sacred effort. If prosperity had a rhythm, it would sound like the quiet hum of bees at sunrise, focused, calm, and deeply intentional. Bees never force themselves into view. They arrive gently, working flower to flower, drop by drop. In both Buddhist wisdom and Feng Shui, bees represent more than pollination. They are symbols of right effort, steady growth, and protected abundance. The Dhammapada offers a timeless lesson. Just as a bee gathers nectar and does not harm the flower, so too should a wise one move through the world. Bees teach us to create value without harm, to build not for show, but from purpose. In Feng Shui, bees only appear in spaces where the energy is balanced and ripe for growth. Their presence often signals that your environment, your intentions, and your quiet labor are beginning to align. You may not see the results yet, but the energy is moving. Each type of bee carries a different spiritual message. The honeybee, most familiar to us, reflects long-term reward. Its presence suggests that the seeds of your consistency, whether in business, relationships, or personal growth, are about to bloom. The bumblebee, large and seemingly ill-fitted to fly, represents breakthroughs. When you see one, it may be a sign to press on despite your doubts. The impossible is becoming possible. The sweat bee, small and easy to miss, reminds us of quiet blessings, a kind word, a small gift, or a gentle opportunity that confirms your inner goodness is being mirrored in the world. Wasps and hornets, though feared, symbolize spiritual guardianship. Their presence can mean something needs protecting, your time, your space, your energy. Don't fear them. Respect the boundary they signal. I recall a story of a couple, Mia and Carlos, who moved into a quiet countryside home. Just weeks after settling in, bees began building a hive under their porch. Mia wanted it removed immediately. Carlos suggested they wait. The bees weren't hostile, just focused. They decided to let the hive remain. In the months that followed, Carlos's struggling catering business gained steady momentum. Mia received a freelance project that doubled her income. Even their relationship grew smoother. They hadn't done anything new, except create a home peaceful enough for bees to stay. That's the deeper message. Abundance doesn't always come loudly. Like honey, it builds gradually, layer by layer, through rhythm and care. The bee's gift is not luck, but a reminder that prosperity is the natural result of aligned effort. So what should you do if bees appear? First, don't kill or disturb them. If the hive is safe, let it be. It acts as a living talisman. If it's in a dangerous spot, call a professional to remove it respectfully. How you handle the bee's presence reflects how you handle your blessings. Some choose to meditate near hives, letting the low hum quiet their minds. Others place bee symbols on their altars as reminders. Sweetness takes time, and effort rooted in balance always bears fruit. Bees don't visit chaos. They come where peace is forming. If they've come to your home, it means something is already right, even if the results haven't shown up yet. Now that these signs have come, how do we hold on to their energy? Let's explore the simple but sacred rituals that help seal the blessing and turn quiet signs into lasting transformation. Part 7, Rituals that Anchor Blessings, How to Hold What Heaven Sends. It's one thing to receive a sign, but it's another to know what to do with it. When a ladybug lands gently on your shoulder, when a white butterfly flutters near your altar, when bees hum softly near your window, these are not just charming moments. They are invitations. But without conscious action, those invitations fade like dreams upon waking. In both Feng Shui and Buddhist mindfulness, receiving is only half the practice. The other half is anchoring. Making space in the physical world for the energy you've just been given. So how do you do that? 1. Clean the spot where the insect appeared. This isn't just about tidiness. In energy terms, dust is stagnation. Clutter blocks flow. If a dragonfly circled your desk or a grasshopper landed near your front door, wipe the area down. Not in haste, but in reverence, like you're clearing space for something bigger to arrive. 2. Place a small vessel of salt or fresh flowers. Salt in Feng Shui absorbs negative energy and holds on to the essence of blessings. Use a clean glass or ceramic bowl with sea salt. You may add a few grains of rice or a coin to enhance its energy. Leave it in the spot for 7 to 9 days, then dispose of the salt in flowing water, or the toilet if needed, with a silent, "Thank you." Fresh flowers are another option. White lilies, chrysanthemums, or lotuses uplift and purify the surrounding air. Their fragrance invites gentle energy to stay. 3. Light incense in gratitude. This is not about ritual for ritual's sake. If your heart felt something shift when the insect appeared, Incense becomes a bridge between the moment and your intention. A single stick, a single breath, a single whisper. I receive this with gratitude. 4. Don't rush. When signs arrive, many people become excited and chase outcomes. But fortune doesn't like to be chased. It flows where there is space. Stay calm. Let the blessing settle. Let it take root. Remember, what comes gently must be held gently. These rituals are not magic, they're mindfulness. A way of saying to the universe, I noticed. I honored. I'm ready. And now, as we close this journey, let's reflect. What does it truly mean to live in harmony with the signs that surround us? Part 8, Final Insight. You are never without guidance. Perhaps the greatest illusion we live with is that we're alone, that the universe is silent, that signs are rare, and blessings are reserved for the lucky. But what if the truth is simpler, quieter, and closer? What if guidance has always been present, only, we've been too rushed, too distracted, too logical to hear it? A white butterfly doesn't shout. A ladybug doesn't demand your attention. A grasshopper doesn't knock. Bees don't leave notes, and dragonflies don't arrive with banners. But all of them appear with purpose. Not to prove something, but to remind you of something. You are supported. Not someday. Not if you pray harder. But now. In both Buddhist wisdom and Feng Shui, the external world reflects the internal state. That means, when these messengers show up, it's not because something is about to shift. It's because you have already shifted. Your space has become ready. Your energy has turned receptive. Your spirit has opened, even if only slightly. And that opening was enough. So the next time a tiny creature enters your space, don't rush to explain it. Just pause. Smile. Watch. Let it be what it is, a sacred hello. A confirmation. A blessing in motion. Because the truth is, good fortune doesn't arrive loudly. It tiptoes in. On delicate wings. On silent legs. On the breath between two thoughts. Let your life be quiet enough to notice. And if this video stirred something in you, leave a simple affirmation in the comments below. Something like, I welcome what is meant for me. Then like, subscribe, and return to this space whenever your heart needs reminding. The signs are always here. The question is, are you willing to see them?